Ah.
Hi, everybody, and hello there, my beautiful cosmic sister, all the way from outer space, but also Mesa, Arizona, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And welcome, everybody. Cosmic Sisters show with Corinne and Anne opens today in a radiant field of remembrance and renewal. Awaken and unfold. Growth and expansion invites each heart to soften into its own rhythm of becoming, to listen beyond the noise and feel the quiet pulse of evolution that lives within. Growth is not a race. It is a gentle unfolding, a sacred dance between surrender and courage. Expansion happens when we allow the light of awareness to touch the places we once hid, when we breathe deeply and say yes to the unknown. Together, we will explore how awakening is both subtle and powerful at the same time, how it moves through our relationships, our creations, and our inner landscapes. This conversation is a space for truth, tenderness, and transformation, where every listener is reminded that their unfolding is divine timing in motion. Timing. So, welcome again to the Cosmic Sister Show, a sanctuary for souls ready to rise, expand, and remember their infinite nature. Welcome. Today, we have Wednesday, May 6th. My goodness, we are in May.
Wow.
Almost half year in, right?
Yes.
And we are going to talk about awaken and unfold, growth and expansion. Our last show last week, we had a little bit of hiccup, so we last minute kind of thing, we changed the topic. So we had a pre-recorded one we had to air. And we talked about unveiling the sacred, a journey into the heart of the divine. We go live for you every week on YouTube at youtube.com/ at Cosmic Guardians 111 / streams and youtube.com/ at Angel Place on Earth / streams. And we stream the replay at facebook.com / Cosmic Guardians right after the show. So let's take a soft breath together and arrive fully into this moment and dive deep into today's show.
Wow. What a great topic. I I am amazed when we have conversations, and out of those conversations uh, come topics, and then we have more topics and more topics, and oh, that would be really good to talk about. And this, and it's amazing how we allow. I love that word. This divine intervention to give us guidance, and this is what awareness is. Our
Yes.
awareness, sometimes it comes in just whispers, gently on the wind. Sometimes, however, it comes in with a surge of determination. And letting this message and these feelings come to life can be done in many ways. It can be done by taking words and turning them into written words, by creating a symphony, by creating a sculpture or architecture, or just in kindness to your neighbor. Anything that is born of our creation that seems on our ability, which brings life and vitality to all of humanity, is a sign of our awareness.
Oh, we have someone in the chat room. Sorry for interrupting with you.
It's
Can
okay.
I get mod? What I don't understand the mod, so please can you specify that? Um, Mila, Mila Maldonado, something. I hope I pronounced it correct. Anyway, yes, awaken and unfold. It is something that goes so hand in hand with our personal spiritual path because there's no way of growing and understanding things or progressing without digging within, right? We talked so many times about this.
Yes.
And there comes a moment in every soul's journey when the inner horizon begins to shimmer. At first, it may actually be subtle, like a soft pulse beneath the surface of ordinary life, but it's going to be unmistakably felt, right? This is
Yes.
the call of awakening. When we question things and when we say that things are, it has to be something more here. There is a purpose. There is, why am I here? Why does all of these things around me happen? Right? But the thing is, we, because sometimes we do fear change. We talked about that too. We want change. Everybody wants change, but nobody wants to change, right?
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I want the world around me. But awakening and unfolding and growth and expansion is a very, very personal journey, isn't it?
Yes. And we allow that growth naturally when we're young, and then there comes a time when we're when we're told that this is the only way and you got to go this way, and we become stagnant and we don't allow for that growth. But uh, we were randomly put together with two cells splitting to create the perfectly imperfect pure human, and we forgot this. We came and we forgot that we are this beautiful being. And when our awareness begins again, it curses through our souls and it urges us to grow. It will open up your intuition. It will give you inner courage to expand and find your true potential. And we move through all these stages like an infant, and then we grow through an adult and emerge as an adult. And then we move into our older stages, and we definitely have growing pains, real physical pains in the body. But then our body also has to deal with chemical changes. And our bodies are flooded with these chemicals that bring on the insanity of puberty and the drunken stupor of love. And we get through those. And if we emerge, then the magic really happens because our soul says, it's my turn. Let us
Yes.
really, really create the magic.
Yeah. And growth, spiritual growth, does not move in straight lines.
Oh, no.
It spirals, it circles, it deepens and rises, and it invites one to meet oneself again and again and again with more honesty, more compassion, and more willingness to see the truth of one's own light, right? So
Yes.
expansion is not about becoming someone new. It is about releasing everything that no longer aligns with the essence you already carry. That is the secret, right? But on
Correct.
this journey of awakening and unfolding and growing and expanding, there are moments when we can feel like, what am I doing? What am I doing? and despite that some a person can be on this journey for quite a few years and have this perception. I know I've been there. That's why I'm telling it. I've been there. And I said to myself, I know so many things. Why am I stuck? Why do I feel stuck? But what very few people talk about, that quietness, that stillness, when we feel that nothing is actually moving forward, we need that place too. It can't be noisy all the time. But the world has taught us that we are, if we don't hear noise and we don't see things progressing all the time, it means that we're on the wrong path. No, we're not.
Yes, yes. And mine started. It was probably all through my life. I just wasn't aware of it. But when I became really aware of it, in the late, well, like 80, 87, 89, around in that time, and I would get this urge to write things down, and it became really to the point where I would be doing something and I would grab a piece of paper, a napkin, any unused paper, anything that I could scribble on, and find a pen or a pencil or a crayon, anything that would make marks on the paper, and I would do this writing, and it just flowed. And then after the impulse to write stopped, and I would reread it and I go, I've got to meet this person. This is really, really good stuff. you know, and and even this article that I wrote, I was at the doctor's office over the weekend, and I, I needed to start writing. So I said, "Do you have a pen and paper?" And I sat there in the doctor's office writing, and part of what I'm speaking about today was written in that time. So when it comes, you seize the moment, and you do it. And uh, I also started having downloads. That's the only way that I can describe them. I'd be doing something normal in the store, in the pool, sitting in my backyard, and I would go into a very deep, deep meditation, and go very still. Now, laugh out loud. A normal person would probably think, oh, I'm having some kind of a medical episode. I certainly need to call the doctor. But somehow I knew it was okay. And I thought to myself, well, this could be interesting. And I don't know how I was awakened, but it was almost as if I was being, my DNA was being shifted so I'd be aware
Yeah.
that I was in this
Awareness.
principle of awakening and growth and expansion.
And I love that you said aware, because awareness is one of the most important things
Mhm.
on this journey. It can
Yeah.
feel uncomfortable sometimes when we become aware of a certain pattern we have. It's like I'm presented with that all the time because I stated that I am willing to work on that part of myself, right? And I keep encountering the same thing. And it's not something that I do love to encounter, that specific pattern of mine, for instance, right?
Yes.
But the awareness, that is the true blessing. Because without the awareness, how could we change patterns? How can we do self work? How can I
Yes.
love myself?
Yes. I love the example of one of the Star Treks when Spock was playing chess with someone else. I can't remember which crew member it was. And it was not a flat board, it was three layers of chess. And if you made a move up here, it affected something down here. And if you made a move over here, it affected something down here. This is why we are presented the opportunity to see. Maybe it seems like the same, gee, I'm stuck in this, but it's giving you an opportunity to see it from a different perspective, from this angle,
Yes.
or from this angle, or from this angle. And it is a way to really polish what you are trying to accomplish. And what I found that after I started doing the automatic writing, I started to feel the pulse and the rhythm of the earth. I began to sense the vibration and the frequencies that were around me. And with these stirrings and that gentle awakening of my soul, most of us have to survive childhood, adulthood, and become older humans in order to slow down enough to be aware of the subtle changes that are happening within and around us.
Yes, exactly. And as awakening stirs within one self, the quiet architecture of one's inner world becomes much clearer, right?
Mhm.
And when we have this intention of awakening and unfolding, it means that we are setting a whole lot of energies in motion. Um, but that is the blessing, because I'm going to encounter basically everything that I need to see about myself, both all the good stuff because everybody has, and all the challenges. But it's if someone would say to me today, um, if I regretted starting on this path journey, no, 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 no. And everybody also needs to know that awakening, it's not something you say to yourself, oh, I awakened. I thought that in the beginning, right? But it is not that way. It is a continuous process. And even if we do encounter sometimes 10 times, 15 times, 20 times the same thing, it shows us that there's still some work needed to be done with that specific thing, right? So I
Yes.
need to look at that. If it's still triggering me, that means I haven't released it. So I know when I release something and I change my pattern in a way that I decide and choose, that the old way doesn't trigger me any longer. I don't, I keep my memories. It doesn't mean that memories fade away and become totally forgotten, but they don't affect us in a negative way any longer, right? So,
Mhm.
as I said, awakening is a continuous process. It is a daily choice to rise into clarity rather than collapse into fear. It is the willingness to soften where you once hardened and to listen where you once resisted. Growth happens in the spaces where you allow yourself to breathe differently, think differently, and respond differently. It is the quiet revolution that begins within and radiates outwards. And the most beautiful thing of everything is that when we change within, we change our energy and frequency, and that has an effect for our loved ones around us, right?
Hmm. And it can affect, in ways um, that you're not even prepared to handle. Um, any change that you make within, and we can only change ourselves, and we can only become aware of ourselves. People that are in a pattern around us that know us as that person, when we change, it invites them to re-examine how they're looking at things, but it can also cause, people to stay away. And we talked about how out of chaos comes the calm. And
Yes.
when things get stirred up and it seems very chaotic, uh, it needs to be sometimes shaken. An old building needs to come down before you can create a new one. Keep trying to repair an old structure. It is like Einstein said, when you keep looking at a solution, looking at something in the same way and expecting a different outcome, that's not going to work. That's kind of the sign of being
No,
crazy. I'll just keep doing it this way and keep doing it this way, but I expect it to change. And it does take an awareness, it does take letting it grow. And I love talking about how nature grows. It starts with a little seed that looks dead, and it can stay in that shape for ages. But when the right elements come along, the right water, the right amount of soil, it bursts into life. And it still has a journey. It still has to push through the dirt, has to go around a rock, it has to move its way up, seeking the light that is within us. And we are remembering that we are the light, and we are
yes,
shedding everything that is not allowing us to fully enjoy that light. That is
yes.
the growth. That is the awareness. And
And that is beautiful. You said it's stunningly beautiful because it is a beautiful journey. It is a beautiful journey. I found myself many years ago in a place where I really felt stuck. And that's why I started talking about I've been there myself. Um, I named it Dark Night of the Soul because it felt for me like I came to the bottom of everything. You know,
yes,
when we emptied everything we think we know, we have been taught in this world, and it can feel really, really confusing. But on another note, that means from that point on, when we emptied everything, we can feel lost, we can feel stuck, we can feel like, what am I doing? Um, why can't I see progress or anything? But when I
yeah,
started, I had help from a healer, but I also did my own work. And I
yes.
said to myself, well, it is what it is right now. So I'm not going to fight it because a lot of people may be like me. I encounter something and I'm going to fight it because I'm stubborn. I'm going to fight. So I said
Yes.
to myself, I'm just going to accept what is. This is it right now. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever because here's one key also. It's hard to awaken and unfold if we are in a place of resistance. And I was in a place of resistance.
Yes.
So the
And
first thing we need to do is just to say, okay, this is how it is right now. Maybe I don't want to be here forever, but this I accept this moment, only this moment.
and there again, and we did, I think, a talk one time on the art of surrender. It's not giving up. It's realizing that if we just let go and go with the flow and see what develops. Again, back to that little seed. I take that little seed and I stuff it under all this dirt. And you talk about the dark place of the soul. It's covered. It's dark. It can't see. It doesn't know what just happened to it. And all of a sudden, but it feels the warmth, it feels the urgings inside to allow what's inside to start emerging. And
Yes.
this is the beauty that when we become silent and when we become still and when we say, okay, enough is enough, I'm just going to sit here and allow for whatever direction that I am going to be moving in to show itself, all of a sudden there is this calm, this peace. And when that happens, we are really in touch with our divinity and we are
Yes.
ready to emerge this beautiful,
Yeah.
perfectly imperfect, pure human.
Yeah. And being in that place is also, it's a part of the change that we also many times have a resistance to. I want the
Yeah.
outer world to change, but I don't want to change, right? So there is a cosmic rhythm guiding us when we cannot see the full map, right? So this is another very human trait we have. We want to have 100%, maybe 110% control over everything. I want to know what's going to be tomorrow, exactly, step by step. But
Yes,
that's not going to happen. It doesn't mean we let go of every control because we live in a world where, yeah, we need to pay bills, we need to cook food, we need to go to the grocery store, feed ourselves, those very earthly common things we need to do, right? Um, and having some sort of management more, I like the more management more than control, right? Over
yes,
our, you know, payments and bills and money coming in, money going out.
yes,
But we don't need to have control over all the events because if we try to control all events and go ahead in time um, to see what's going to be exactly, that's never going to happen because number one, we usually interact with others um, on all things, on all matters, basically. And when we interact with someone else, we can only have some sort of idea what we are going to do. We cannot say what the other person is going to do exactly because maybe they are thinking about something, maybe they are on a path towards something, and all of a sudden they change their mind, and they
yes,
have a right to because it's free will, right?
exactly.
So you are not meant to stay small. You are not meant to dim your frequency to fit into old versions of yourself. You are here to grow, to stretch, to rise, and to embody the luminous architecture of your infinite nature. Awakening is the moment you stop waiting for permission. Unfolding is the moment you step into your power. Growth is the moment you choose truth over comfort. Expansion is the moment you realize you were always meant to shine. How about that?
How about that? That's beautiful. And interesting how we assume that control is what is going to give us guidance and control our world, not understanding that when we are in that place of connection to our higher self, we don't have to control. We just have to basically allow it to happen because the forces that are around us in the field, and I've spoken about the field before, as you have also, and getting in touch with that, our path is really effortless because we
Yeah.
don't have to barge in and control the situation. We can gently perceive a different outcome, and then
Yeah.
allow our connection with that higher divinity and with that cosmic force to allow it to happen. And the more you do this, uh, I invite everybody to please be careful what you think, because
Yes.
the simplest thought will be, and I'm going to use an incident with myself, and I pride myself on really thinking before I speak. But I was excited about a recovery that I had and the people that helped me in that recovery. And that episode was coming to an end. And I said to him, I'm really going to miss you guys. I really don't want to see you again, but I'm going to miss you. That weekend, now, was it that thought that created the possibility for me to have to go back to them? But I re-injured myself and had to go back and start all over again. So was it my thought? Was it just circumstance? I have to take and say to myself, that is the power of moving the energy, and that's the responsibility of moving the energy. I don't have to control it. I didn't have to go out and do something. I thought it. Now it made me aware that
I
ah,
did.
I really I I will choose every word that I say, even when I'm not speaking to a client. I will choose my words with care, and but it's something to think about. We don't have to be in control.
No.
Once you get into that field and allow things to be, you don't have to go around controlling things, and that's freedom.
Yes,
Responsibility,
that is true.
freedom.
True freedom. And we are in that flow when we don't need to struggle. I like to state it like this. I take a step back and I try to have a bigger perspective.
Uh-huh.
You could state seeing things from a helicopter perspective or seeing the bigger picture, right? Not
Yes.
jumping into things just like that. Having patience and letting things unfold, because that means also when we are in the flow, we're going to see synchronicities. We're going to see things out of the very ordinary appearing right before us. It can be you have been searching for something, and all of a sudden, someone you don't even know the person, you are outside, and they say something that's going to bring you on the right path to find what you're looking for. Or um, it's so funny sometimes, and I just told you the story. I have a round bathtub in Greece, and I'm in Rhodes. And when we built the house, we were looking for a round bathtub, a big one, right? Because the space is round. And we actually found a bathtub named Rhodes. How about that?
I love it when it's like, duh, this is very obvious. This is the one that you're supposed to get. And and sometimes we go, if you're in that control mode, well, yeah, but I want one that, and ignore what is being really just presented to you without having to fluster over it. Um, and the beauty, I was saying how so many of us that have been earthbound for a little while kind of had to go through all the stages of getting to the point where we started listening to our true selves. But more and more and more, the children coming in are the crystal children and the rainbow children and the star souls that are starting to remember. So we're in a very beautiful time where more and more people aren't having to spend an entire lifetime to get to this awareness. Um, on occasion, I have been able to observe a 7-year old explaining to their parent what the soul came here to do because they are still in connection with their divinity. And these are children that sometimes are isolated. Oh, it's your imagination. It's this and this and this. But the good thing is they're coming into parents that are a little bit more aware, and they allow these children to express themselves and grow. But um, we are at a beautiful, beautiful time in the evolution of this incredible thing called humanity. And,
Yes,
you
we
know,
are. And even though the world can look a bit, little bit chaotic today, right? And it had
yes,
been for basically for me, in my perception, since 2020, um,
yes,
when we started to see weird things coming along, and it keeps coming. At the same time, in order for things to be able to change, just like when we do a personal change, there are crazy things going to be going on. And
yes,
the thing is, like everything else, it's the awareness. When you can't do it like this any longer, so you become aware, and that can feel awfully painful sometimes for some people.
yes.
And if you're stubborn like me, and I love your way of expressing it, this is going to be interesting.
Yes.
I took that from you.
Well, rather than going, oh my gosh, the ship is going to fall out of the sky, I go, well, we'll see what happens. Uh, it has really gotten me through a lot of changes in my life, and I'm very very grateful that. And I'm thinking that I probably picked that up from Spock. Now I don't know if he said interesting, but he didn't get emotional about it. He goes, well, that's going to be interesting, and so thank you,
It
Spock.
was a very, very cool personality, right?
Well, he had his emotions intact. He had emotions. People don't understand that. He had very very hot emotions, but they had learned to pause and look at things from a different perspective. And so I didn't realize how much I was emulating him, but and then Yoda, there is no try. There is only do or not do. So don't worry about the other stuff. Either do or not do. It's as simple as that. you know.
Exactly. And because we are human beings, sometimes for me personally, I can go off for a couple of minutes,
Oh
say a
yeah,
few dirty words, or, thinking of something, getting out of my system. But I allow myself to do that. And then I
absolutely.
kind of take that step back and say, okay, let's see where this is going to go. Instead of, you know, pushing for something and trying to have the control and trying to get it as I want it to be, I let the energies work for themselves. That's the
Yeah,
easiest way, actually. And we are always, always, always going to be given the answer. And when we are in the flow and when we are given chances, it doesn't come like an order from above, right?
no,
Uh, I give you this message, a sign, and you're going to have to go with that. No, it never happens. Usually we are presented with choices, and I would
absolutely
seriously actually question something trying to tell me what to do. That's not
not
going to
me.
happen because
No.
once that comes along, they're off, right?
Yep, yep. Uh, you don't tell me what I can't do. Tell me what we could do. And
Yes.
this is the thing. And I have found that when you become more connected and more aware of what's going on, a situation that comes up, I find will always rectify itself in a way that is so much grander than I could have forcibly tried to make happen. And I learned a long time ago. I had this situation where I was uh, deciding whether to take I was doing medical massage, and I was getting ready to thinking about becoming a myopractor, which was another whole level of education. And I had to really manipulate the person's body. And as I was working with a client, at the foot of the table, this brilliant light comes. And from this light and this presence, I hear, energy is where I want you to work. And I was doing Reiki with her at this time. And it was specifically, this is where I want you to work. And as I was working with this person, her body moved and kind of adjusted. And she could hear this, and you could physically see the body. When we started, she had a very slight case of scoliosis, which she'd had since a child. And when we were finished, it was gone. And my mama didn't raise no idiots here. And I said, well, if I can work with an energy that is going to do all the heavy lifting, then this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to work. Because myopractic, I would have to lift the person's body and force them into different positions. And I said, hey, I'm smart enough to go, this is where I need to work. So I would have never, ever sat down and said, okay, what is this choice? What is this choice? Should I do this? Should I do that? And everything else. When it was revealed to me, because I was open, I was aware, I was in the process of growing and expanding. And I allowed this information to sink in. And I'm very grateful that uh, that all came about. I really
You
am.
see, that's a true blessing because you listened.
I
You
listened.
listened. Yeah, you listened.
Yeah.
So
And
I want to say this again because I think it's important. And you have your version. You can say your version after me if you want to. Awakening, because we talk about awakening and unfolding, right? Growth and expansion. Awakening is the moment you stop waiting for permission. Who is going to give you permission? It's coming from you. Give yourself. Unfolding is the moment you step into your power.
that's
Growth
right.
is the moment you choose truth over comfort. Expansion is the moment you realize you were always meant to shine. Don't hold yourself back. Don't.
That's right. That
Let yourself become.
beautifully said. And I love the way that you put it in sequential steps. Just let this become, wake up to it, step into it, allow it, and then let it unfold. Uh, Master of words. Thank you.
Thank you. After you. So let your becoming be gentle. Let your transformation be honest. Let your path be guided by the quiet brilliance of your own knowing. You are awakening. You are unfolding. You are expanding into the vastness of who you are. And as you rise, the world rises with you.
Yes. And what I would add to that would be to step into your awakening, unfold, grow, and expand. Your brilliance, your intuition, your unconditional love, and potential are waiting and ready to emerge.
Exactly. Your unique, brilliant self.
Exactly.
Because there's no one else exactly like you. We
Thank
don't
goodness.
have copies. We may have similarities with one another, right? But we are totally unique,
Yes,
like our fingerprints. The soul is totally unique for everybody.
very much so.
And something else that I feel is important to remind everybody of again, remember that working on yourself is a process and not a quick fix. It is also a catalyst for the greatest changes for the future, but it
Yes,
starts with you.
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm starting to squirm here. Are there questions that are going to be flung this way?
I feel joy now. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you love this. You just really enjoy this.
I do. So, as we explore this theme for today, here are a few reflections that help us feel into the shift. These reflections are for all of you watching and listening as well, not only for Miss Corrine in the hot seat, right? Or myself. First question, what does awakening feel like in your own life right now?
Interestingly, you should ask that because awakening never ever stops, and awareness never stops. Uh, the little story that I told you about just thinking that I was going to miss these people so much, and did it happen that this occurred that I had to go back and see them, gives me another opportunity to re-examine where do I need to polish my being impeccable with my speech. And we're always given the opportunity to go back and clean it off a little bit and readjust it. And this is the beauty of it. Rather than taking it personally and saying, I'm a bad person, I'm never going to get this, you go, okay, well, that was interesting. Now what do I do about it? And sometimes the lessons come with physical pain, as I had to go back through physical therapy again. And but they really, I think this time they really stuck, and it said, ah, be impeccable with your speech, be impeccable with your speech. But the beauty is that we're daily given opportunities to become aware and to grow. And I think this is
Yes,
this is the beautiful part.
it is. And I want to add something there too, because we do manifest all the time. From the moment we wake up, maybe even during our sleep if we are going astral travel and stuff of that nature, right? But
Right?
that's another story. But from the time we wake up until we fall asleep again in the evening, we manifest all the time. We manifest with our thoughts, our
Yes,
words, our actions. So it's not only what I'm thinking about doing, it's how am I thinking of doing it, right?
exactly. Exactly.
I'm curious about something. It's not right now. It's a couple of years ago when I broke my leg. What did I, what did I say to come to that place?
I I know, isn't it fun to kind of go back and go, okay, if we could replay this, what was the thinking? Other than the fact that you told me that you had a premonition
Yeah,
that this was probably not going to be a good idea, but you had done this all the time before. So what the heck? And
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for reminding me. And I do remember now that, yeah, I had this feeling I shouldn't do it because I had the accident uphill on a bicycle with electricity, right, to help a little bit.
yes.
And it wasn't really you don't have any speed or anything. But I had this sense I shouldn't do it. I should have listened to myself. I should have listened. I
I,
don't always listen either, do I?
well, that's what makes us so beautiful is that we are perfectly imperfect. And how would you have had a really, really, really firm experience if that hadn't happened? I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
no. It taught me something actually, and on a deeper level, more patience, more not having a big mouth, thinking about what I'm stating and saying, listening to myself over what others may actually ask you to do, right?
yes.
Sometimes there's still a little part that wants to be, okay, well, I've done my thing for 10 days, maybe the 11th day I can do something for someone else as well. And that's a good
Exactly.
thing. Yeah, but not to the price of having an accident. Anyway,
That's true. However, the universe had you covered and had four surgeons sitting there watching the whole thing. So I mean,
three
three
doctors.
doctors. Okay. So if that had to occur, uh, it occurred in the most uh, convenient way that it could. So
Yeah.
it's
And I started with something. So when I encounter something that I feel is challenging me, I say, okay, this is how it is now. This is it.
yep,
I do what I can with what I currently have.
and
And then I'm
that's
going to expand and look forward.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's where our stubbornness and our tenacity comes in because we will do what we need to do to get it resolved.
Yes,
And thank
exactly.
goodness for that.
Yes. Second question. How do you
Ooh.
recognize when your soul is ready to expand?
Ah.
That's a good one.
Well, interestingly enough, the beginning of the year, I had this sensation that there was going to be a lot of changes that were coming, and it was very peaceful for me, and it was like uh, an excitement that there was going to be there was going to be growth and movement, and I was going to have opportunity to really expand where I was, and all this year has been giving me opportunities to to kind of reconnect and move beyond. It's for lack of a better word, it was like someone poured fertilizer and lots of water and lots of TLC and said, "Oh, you got a lot of growing to do, girl." And I go, "Well, this could be interesting," and it has been.
It could. It
Yes.
could actually. So, third question. What helps you stay gentle while growing through change?
Uh, that's an interesting question and so individual. For me personally, um, that is how do I think it's because because I have really worked on knowing that as things
Sorry.
change, that's okay. As things change, that it is going to be uh, something something beautiful. It's like um if I were painting or creating, like in my backyard, I'm landscaping, and it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of looking at that, and that doesn't quite work, so changing it a little bit. And I think that gave me great peace that it could be accomplished because I will do it, and then I will sit and I will look at it, and then I'll say, where do I need to make a shift? And I think that also is the way that I approach things that change within me also. I will try it on, and if it doesn't quite fit, then I'll take it off and I'll rearrange it. And out of that does not come chaos, but it comes peace. It because
Yeah.
I'm seeing the progress, little bits, little bits, little bits. But
Yeah.
yes,
And I could answer that one too, short. Um, so, what helps me to stay gentle and centered while growing through change? Yeah, I love doing chores that makes me feel peaceful, like going out in the garden or working in the sun, not in the summer, because you're going to get burnt, right?
yes,
Um, or even at home doing chores, but being with my own self. I don't want to have a lot of noise around, so I can
exactly.
hear what's coming. That is the trick for me, and
Yes,
I love that.
beautiful.
Sometimes I actually crave that. That sounds maybe strange. I need it, to be honest, once in a
Yes,
while.
yes.
Yeah.
We do need to
So,
have that sanctuary. Yes.
yeah, we do. So, fourth question, in what ways do relationships mirror our inner unfolding?
Ooh.
They are great mirrors,
Ooh.
aren't they?
uh, Relationships give us the opportunity, I think, to practice what we are experiencing, and
Yes.
it's like when the teacher gets up, says there's going to be a pop quiz, and you go, oh well, I didn't really study for this, uh, but that's kind of like different opportunities because you're not necessarily expecting a person to maybe show that back at you, and you go, okay, now what do I do with that? Oh, I've got to really reach into my little uh, awareness package here and see if there's any way that I can get through this situation. And if I don't have that tool, then I'm going to have to quickly create the right tool that is going to allow me to take this test and come out on the other side. I'm not going to say triumphantly because we may have that test again, but but it'll at least get you through that first testing time.
And if we have that test again, we say, darn.
Ah, I wish I'd studied. I wish I had studied.
We need to pop a joke every once in a while because we are
Yeah,
also supposed to have fun on this journey, and we do actually have fun, a
absolutely.
lot of fun. Yes,
Yep. Laughter is the lubricant that keeps us going. And I
exactly.
apologize. The allergies are just really, really stuffing up my little nose, but that's okay. I love the weather.
Yes, I know you do. So, last question. How can we invite more trust into the process of becoming who we truly are?
Oh. Uh, you find these questions just floating around all the different cosmos there. Trust is such a fragile thing. Trust. I think of trust like a snowflake, and once it's been destroyed, you can't really put it back together. It's something that you have to treasure and make sure that it stays intact. Um, but when you begin to really find your authentic self and start trusting yourself and trusting the process, I think it's a lot easier to trust that even though this is uncomfortable, I trust that it will happen. It's like when I first started getting downloads, and as I said, normal people would run to the doctor because I would just kind of go like this and be standing there, and I was grateful nobody called 911, or I'd have been hooked up to tubes and all kinds of stuff trying to find out what happened to me. But there was something internal that said, you're okay, and this is a process. And somehow I began trusting my inner self, my soul, and I'm grateful for that, because I could have derailed this whole process if I'd started taking drugs and getting on medicines and seeing doctors and all of that, because uh, I'm just glad that trust was already starting to grow.
Yeah. And because you listen within, there's an inner knowing with you. So you know when I'm not going to go insane. There's something going on, and I can
Yes,
understand part of it, right? But
yes,
you also have the courage to go through it. So we need to have that courage, right?
oh
And you have a
yes,
lot of it.
yes.
Courage in abundance.
Yes,
But
thank you.
you're right. Trust is a very fragile thing. I say usually that we takes a long time to build trust. I mean, in the physical world,
Yes,
but you can ruin trust in a second.
yeah.
So, but we need to grow the trust for what we are receiving. That is,
Uh-huh.
it is the right thing for us. And sometimes, if we get multiple signs, guidances, directions, synchronicities, whatever, it's usually because we have choices to make. It's-
Exactly,
And can
exactly.
we make a wrong choice? No, we can't. We can't. We simply can't. If we go with the heart, we can't make a wrong choice. And if we make a choice that we think afterwards, I should have done differently. Yeah, well, maybe we needed to take that path to learn that thing.
And the beauty is that you now have another option, because there's never an end to the process of growing.
No,
It, you know,
it's not. Um, you don't have the affirmation for today, right?
no, I wish
It's
I
my
did.
bad.
No,
I
no,
sent
that's okay.
I sent the show notes a little bit late here. So, and as these reflections, the questions we talked about, settle in our hearts, let's anchor the energy with a gentle affirmation. I awaken to the truth of my infinite nature. Every breath expands my awareness. Every moment reveals new light within me. I trust the rhythm of my unfolding, gentle, steady, divine. Growth flows through me as grace, not effort. I am safe to evolve, to rise, to become more of who I truly am. My
Mm,
expansion blesses the world with the radiance of my authentic being. So
ah,
may these words echo softly within us as we close our circle tonight.
beautiful.
Is there anything else that we want to touch
I,
on
I I
before
love
we
when you
wrap it up?
say that because there's always something more, but I know that that more will be evolved into another podcast, and that's what I love about this evolution and this revelation of information that it just it just seems to flow, and I trust the process and
Yeah, I can mention just one little thing here. When we grow, expand, unfold, and are in the flow and everything of that nature. So I used to do radio and blog talks, Soul Sister show, right? So my co-host and Soul Sister couldn't do that, so we took a pause, and she ended up actually being very very sick, and she passed away. So because I love talking about these things, and I said to myself, okay, so I just do something. I go on myself, and I had another lady a couple of times, and then I continued myself. And then I think the third time you showed up like a precious gift. That's how synchronicity work. And when
oh,
we don't worry about things, I just felt that I know I want to do this. I don't know exactly all the details. I don't know how it's going to be, but I'm going to do it. And I started. And there you go. Right?
yes, and I had the audacity to say yes, that I would I would join you on this journey, and it has been a blessed journey. I have grown and expanded, and um, so much of my well, this was a part of my journey that was meant to be, and it um, perfect timing, perfect timing.
Perfect time. So you can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111 slash streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth slash streams and angelplaceonearth.com/, upcoming dash past. You can, of course, also connect with us, read articles, and find Corrine and her website and everything. And hi there, we are wrapping it up now. Um, about Corrine and myself at angelplaceonearth.com/, cosmic guardians, and you can find Corrine Mooney on both places, of course, but also at liquidenergyhealing.com. Find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series dash cosmic dash guardians. Next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and with Cosmic Sis-Stars is next Wednesday, May 13th. And we will talk about detachment is not indifference. That's going to be a juicy one too,
Yes,
right?
it will be. Yes.
We do go live for you every Wednesday. And as we close this circle tonight, may you feel the quiet pulse of your own expansion, the gentle unfolding that continues long after our conversation ends. Growth is not something we chase, it is something we allow. Your favorite word, right? It moves through us like light through open windows, reminding us that every breath is a new beginning. Carry this awareness into your days ahead. Let your awakening be soft yet steady, your unfolding graceful and true. You are part of a living rhythm that never stops evolving, the cosmic dance of becoming. Until we meet again in the next luminous episode, keep shining, keep expanding, and keep remembering the infinite within you. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you.
Yes.
So, thank you so much, everyone. Um, may you have your best days ever coming from this, right? And continuously expanding. Bye.
Bye bye.